Well, g'day, Sam. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Cool, thanks.
So now we just want to let everyone a bit of a heads up. We've got a bit of Skype magic going on, so Sam's going to probably go a bit pixelated here or there, but we'll persevere. We'll get through this.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sam, you're like the man for webinars. Who are you mainly working with at the moment?
Well, at the moment we're doing quite a few different projects. We're working with a number of business owners, but the main thing or the main focus at the moment has really been startups. I just made my mic a lot clearer.
Yep.
So, okay, cool. So we're working with staff.com at the moment. Liam Martin and Time Doctor. We're helping them launch a webinar on AppSumo, if you're familiar with that.
Yep.
And we're also working with a lot of people that are business owners that are just starting out. So a big part of our business is helping people that have a business that are as a small business but they want to grow it, or people that maybe don't have a business but want to work out how to make money online. And we've got a system with webinars that we show them, we guide them through, which helps them make money online with these webinar presentations. So there really is a whole lot that we're doing with webinars, a whole various audience. Like I said, the main focus for us is many people with small businesses and helping them increase in size. So we have people that do profiling online. We have people that are trying to start their own health business online. We have people that work with even a client that works with a lot of the big airlines as clients. They're trying to use webinars to better engage and sell their product. We work with them as well. So there really is a large range.
Yeah.
That answers the question.
Okay, cool, man. So how did you even get started down this road, man? How did you get started in this business?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's been a long journey. And I better start. I'm looking semi-homeless today because I'm in my office here. These are all my degrees, obviously. And I started. We did a launch this week, so we're actually launching our own webinar because we do this stuff ourselves. So we had a launch that happened today and finally was the result of months of work. And the past week have been quite intense getting it to that stage, but as a result of that, we were able to generate a lot of money today, which was great. But how it all started for me was I was looking to get myself online, and it really started that, hey, I just wanted to make money. I started out when I was 13 years old. I'd grown an e-commerce business to $100,000 by the age of 16. So I knew how to make money online. I knew that was an opportunity to make money online, and if you're listening to this now, you probably understand there's a lot of money to be made online. And Peter, you obviously understand this as well. Online is a great place. You can do a lot. And that took me on a weird journey where I actually met a guy named Muhammad Ali. And he was living in my parents' basement of one of their rental homes. And I went around to this guy's house one day because apparently he was doing business stuff as well, and had a chat with him, and he showed me some of the stuff he was doing, and I was making a lot more than him at the time. But he was selling these information products and getting himself out in the business management niche. And I didn't really think too much of it until 2 months later I came around to his house, and he suddenly had a BMW in the driveway. He was moving out. He was moving to Fiji or doing whatever he was doing. And it was actually, no, what he did is he actually went on a world trip. He made about $80,000 within that 2 month period, and he said basically he didn't have to work again. He could see how the income was coming in, and he had done it all online. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. I'd like to have a look into this. And the main thing that I saw about, or I guess observed, is that his business model allowed him to make money selling digital products. And for me, that was a really attractive thing. So I started getting into that whole thing. And it took me a while. It took me about probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years to actually get it right. It was a long process because he moved away. I didn't have that guidance. But finally made it to the stage where I was selling my own product. And then one of the first things that happened to me, as soon as I started getting known, as soon as I built a list of about 300, 400 people that I'd sold products to, I was invited on a online presentation by a guy named Ken. And this guy said, hey, just hop on. We get these people that listen to us and hear us talk on a weekly basis. And I thought, well, why not? That's cool. So I jumped on to this webinar thing, and I had no idea what it was at the time. I was like dead. I was really, really nervous. I remember not even sleeping. I was in a daze most of that day. And then for half an hour, I spoke about Facebook, social media, some of the stuff I'd been doing with businesses, how I'd been helping them. And then I asked them to purchase my product. The guy said, well, where can people find more about you? And I said, this is where you can find more about me. And finished the webinar. About 5 minutes later, went downstairs to my other computer, and I just remember seeing my email inbox full with sales, and I made about $3,500 within that short 30-minute period. And from there, I've really just been focused on webinars as my main promotional method, because I saw the power of them there, the ability to connect with an audience. And that really has brought me to here, where we launch most of our products via webinars. We coach a lot of people doing webinars, and it's a lot of fun doing that. As you can see, I enjoy what I do.
Yeah, cool, man. So could you explain what is a webinar? Like, it's surprising these days, but there's people out there that don't know what it is, what it'll do for them. What is a webinar?
Yeah, sure. It's basically an online presentation. So you think that someone might get up and talk in front of an audience. You may have been to an event where there's a speaker and he's speaking in front of the audience and he's selling his product, or it's a keynote. Recently there was an Apple keynote about their iPhone 5 coming out. But one dude got up, I didn't watch it, but a guy got up and spoke to all these people and said, wow, it's launched and it's amazing, and went through the benefits. And that's basically what a webinar is, except the big difference is that it's all online. Everyone's just watching their computer, just like you probably are watching this interview on your computer. And it's live, so what happens is that there's a presenter and a host, and the presenter basically just presents the benefits of their product, what this product could help people achieve, maybe teaches them something, or shares some sort of content. And it's done in a live fashion where everyone can actually see this person's screen. So if I was to say, start a webinar right now in this interview, and we were to record my screen, and I was to say, go to Facebook, and I was to sign up for Facebook, and I was to show you how to start up a Facebook page, and you could see that on my screen, that's basically a webinar.
Okay, so like because I've been on webinars and seen a bunch of webinars and learnt a lot of stuff. Most of what I've learnt has actually been through webinars. So cool. You could do a PowerPoint presentation. You could do all kinds of different presentations.
Yeah. You can do anything. Yeah, you can. I mean, we could get on a webinar right now, just how we are talking to each other, and that would also be, I guess, counted as a webinar. I've done that before. It didn't work really well because it didn't. It's so much easier to sell if people can see your screen, they can see the presentation slides in your PowerPoint. So it's basically like a keynote or a presentation in an event, but done with PowerPoint, and they can just see your slides and you're just talking through it. Okay. And they can't. The audience can't talk either. They can't interrupt you. Which is also really good. They can just type in questions and you can answer the questions live on the webinar.
Yeah, so it could be interactive. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what would you say is the reason for your success? Like, how did you break through and become the webinar dude?
I think it's because I was very fortunate. I very quickly was able to connect with a lot of people in my industry, and I'm in the online marketing industry. That's what we do. We sell products about online marketing, develop software. So I was very fortunate to connect with a lot of people that knew a lot about webinars and a lot about online marketing. And a lot of the top guys that started to notice me and noticed that, hey, I was someone that had quality products, and they wanted me, and did quality trainings as well. So they wanted me to go on their webinar to teach their subscriber lists some useful information about what I was promoting, which would be Facebook, social media, all that type of stuff. So very quickly, I was able to present on in front of their audiences, and I gained a lot of experience from that, because I'd always ask them, I'd say, well, did you enjoy the presentation? The host would say yes. Okay, the person I was doing it with said yes, and said, what could I improve on? And as a result of that, I was able to get very good at scripting webinars, very good at knowing when to say certain things, getting good at when to ask certain questions, and that's I guess really where it's come from, that I've become so known, because I do connect well with an audience on a webinar, and I also know how to get conversions, which is the other big thing. People in our industry, they're looking to make money. That's why they're in here. Sure, there's a lot of people that want to give back, and that's fantastic, but what it comes down to is, if you want to get on webinars, you want to become known, you've got to be able to make the person who's sending their subscribers to the webinar money. And I got really good at producing a lot of money off these webinars, more at one time than anyone in my industry. I was known as one of the top 3 converting offers for the product that I was actually pushing, because of the way that I was presenting. But what I noticed is that there's a script, okay? There's a way that you can, there's certain things in a webinar, a certain structure, that if you apply it and work it over and over again, it can work with anyone. And I've been able to coach a number of people in my industry and outside of my industry how to create that structure for their presentation, how to create that structure for their webinars. And that's one of the reasons that I'm able to now produce, say, like one of the recent things I did, I was able to produce a webinar within a 70-hour period, without any product, without anything, just from scratch, when I was feeling quite unmotivated and I needed a challenge. And from that, I was able to generate $13,600 because I knew what the audience wanted. I knew what product they wanted, and I had a script that would lead them to the decision that they wanted to get my product. So it's been a lot about practice. It's been about connecting with the right people, getting the right feedback. But what it comes down to is I've really realized that there's a structure to all of this, and there's a system. And if you apply this over and over again, then you can get the same results over and over again.
Okay. Now, something that interests me, right, is back at the start, how did you get onto someone else's webinar? Like, because it's kind of like that's their platform. So, like, I get a guest on my show, they're on my platform presenting what they know how to do, right, for my audience. How did you get your first webinar gigs? Like that then let you get better and better and better each time.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it's not about getting on someone else's webinar, not necessarily. A lot of it's about just getting traffic, getting people on your webinar. It's not about the presenter or the host. It's about how do you get traffic to the webinar. So whether it's social media you're using, whether it's paid traffic, whether it is a joint venture partner, it's irrelevant. As long as you have people on the webinar, that's your main goal. And then you can present, you can make money. So you might be watching this and you might know that you're getting 1,000 hits to your website per month, or to whatever you have, your blog. You might be getting clicks from BBC or anything like that. You might even have a social media presence. And these are all methods that you can get people onto your webinar. Now, if your method is specifically joint venture partners and you're looking to connect people in your industry, a great way to do that is by, first of all, creating a product that you usually do. Maybe you may even have a product already. Then from that, what you want to do is you want to take that product, you want to package it as a system. And I say system because people like to purchase systems. Systems are A to Z. It depends what your market is, obviously, but whether you're in fitness, whether you're in health, whether you're in weight loss, whether you're in internet marketing, people want to know the A to Z solution for doing X, okay? They want to know, how do I lose 12 pounds in 5 days, or how do I make $10,000 the next month in internet marketing, just for examples purposes. And they want to know that they get everything in that package, because so many people out there are so confused with all the different messages that are being sent. And if you've invested in yourself before, you're obviously investing in your education right now, and I'm sure that my method of doing things is completely different from many others out there. And you might be getting different information from them, you might be getting different information from me. And if I say that I've got a product which is going to give you the ability to do this, okay, you know there's all this other stuff to do. And you have to get that other stuff from either me or someone else, then that's going to be confusing for you. So one of the biggest things that I've sort of learned about these webinars is that if you want to convert, you want to get on other people's webinars, create a system that encompasses all of that, and create a training that gives them all of the steps. Okay, the webinar's goal is simply to eliminate all the questions and all the reasons that people would have not to buy your product. You just want them to purchase your product if that's your goal. So make sure that your webinar covers all the possible questions they could ask. Make sure it features all the different things that they need to see in order to make the decision. And if you've got the right structure, then you can do that. And it's not a complicated structure or anything like that. It's just a matter of having certain things in certain places and addressing certain questions that people might have popping ahead of those certain stages. And then after that, once you've got that webinar, you've got the system that you're selling as well. It's simply a matter of proving your results. Okay, so if you're getting social media traffic, or if you drive a certain amount of traffic to one of these webinars, then you can show the results to an affiliate or JV partner, and you can say, well, I'm getting these results. This is the training that I run in your webinar. Your list is going to love it because of this. And then that's a way that you can show them what you could possibly do. But the best way to get any affiliates, JV partners, anything, is first of all connecting with people in their industry and asking them to introduce you to certain people. 90% of the connections that I have come from, hey, could you introduce me to so-and-so, because I know that those two know each other, and then as a result of that, being able to talk to so-and-so and confirming a deal with so-and-so.
Okay, excellent, man. So what have webinars specifically done for you?
For me, they've been able to, I guess, for me and my business, it's really a method of selling. So they've really given me a median which I could excel at. Me, I'm not good with anything to do with writing or anything like that. So if you tell me to write a sales video or a sales letter, I'm not very good at that. What I'm good at is I'm good at getting on webinars. I enjoy connecting and talking to people. Now, and that doesn't mean to say that people that are good at those things, writing and video sales letters, shouldn't do webinars, or people that are more comfortable with writing stuff shouldn't do webinars. But for me personally, webinars have given me the ability to connect better with my audience. They've given me the ability also to reach out to a lot more people because I can get conversions via webinars. I have the system to do so. And also give me the ability to sell more product, okay? Webinars convert better than video sales letters. They convert better than text. They convert a lot better. So webinars is my chosen method because I am able to produce more money out of them, quite simply, and also I can train a lot of people, connect with them. And what I've found also as a sort of byproduct of that is that I can connect a lot better with my audience, and my audience is a lot more responsive for a long period of time. If I just send them to a sales page or said buy my stuff without any connection, any personal touch, without them hearing my voice and hearing that, hey, I'm legit, like I'm actually trying to help these people and I have a product that would be useful for them, then it wouldn't be as effective. But because I do this, it is more effective, and I find that a lot more people buy other products of mine. They also plug into more of my information, and in my personal belief, I believe they become more successful because they trust what I'm giving them and they actually apply and take action upon it.
Okay. Now you speak a lot about connecting and how important that connection is and converting. Now, when it's like on a webinar that you can write some text, I can sort of send you a message and you can respond to that. But typically, you kind of it's pretty one way a lot of the time. So how are you connecting with people? What's some tips you could give people to actually connect through a webinar when you're not actually, because face-to-face sales is completely different. You can read someone, you can sort of see if they're sitting there like this, if they're not interested, or if they're like this, if they're really interested.
That's kind of creepy, but yeah. I hope they're not sitting there like that. It's not.
Yeah. You know what I mean, but like, how do you get that connection through a webinar?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to people and why are they on the webinar in the first place. You find that the more you speak with people, the more that they want to find someone that they can connect with. They want to be heard, and they want some guidance. They simply want some guidance. And if they can hear legitimacy in your voice, then that helps things. But one of the best ways to connect over a webinar, for example, is by asking questions. And you've got a chat box there, and I actually really like it because when you're speaking to a stage, an audience, and I do a bit of that as well, you can see people's reactions. You can see what they're looking at doing, and you can, if they're looking at you and they're thinking, when is this going to end? Or if they're sleeping, which does occasionally happen. Well, it shouldn't happen, but I'll give them a smack over the head. But that you can see it, and it does get you, right? Because we're people. Like, I don't like seeing someone lose attention or someone looking at me like, hey, you're full of it. Like, I know there's people out there that just do that with everyone, but the fact is, like, that's not cool. On webinars, I don't really care. I can't even see you. So you're just you're a number. But in saying that, you're important because I know that you're a person at the end of the screen. But I'm just glad I can't see the back and forth. So on webinars, one of the main advantages is because you don't have that much connection, but you can still connect with people because they can connect with your voice. They can connect with what you're saying. If you say to someone, you're in the situation where your family is, you're not sure where your next paycheck is coming, and you want something that's going to give you the ability to earn maybe $300 the next week, part-time, and then you want to build it up, and your goal in life or your goal for the next year is to spend more time with your kids, your family. If someone hears that and they're like, that's me, that's exactly me, then they're going to connect with that. So what I often do is I find out, well, who is my audience? I identify who is my audience. And in my case, my audience is often males, 40 to 60 years old, who are looking to retire. They're looking to spend more time with their family, their kids, and they just want something that's going to allow them to earn some money, just a small amount over over a certain period of time. They just want to be able to work from home, be self-sufficient from home, quit their job, retire. So I can identify that that's where they are. So I simply say, well, this is where you are. And for them, that's the way of connecting. And I say, if that's you, then say yes. And then I'll get a ton of people saying yes in the chat box. And I'll say, well, Bob's saying yes. John's saying yes. He's saying yes. And then and I'll ask questions throughout the webinar like that. And I'll always identify those people by their names on the webinar. Because as soon as, it's just like any time. If I say Peter, like, I don't know, you like hearing your name being said. And if I was to put like Peter on the wall, you'd probably like that. Like, kind of weird though, but
yeah, you can do that if you want. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. That people just want to connect. As soon as they hear their name, as soon as they respond to you, and you respond back and say, "You just said yes," and the more you identify with where they are and their position, the more they'll feel close to you, the more they'll connect with you, and the more they'll think, "Wow, this person actually knows who I am, and they have something that could be really useful to me."
Yeah, it's kind of like. You're just making them feel that little bit special, and for that moment, they're just that little bit more engaged. Their name's been said. It's like having your name read out over the radio. Hey, happy birthday out there to Sam Bakker over there. And, you know what I mean? My parents used to do that, just to give you a bit of thrill. Same sort of thing. And it's sort of like on Facebook too. You put a comment and someone likes it. You're like, oh, you like that? Cool.
Exactly.
That gives you an indication that someone's digging what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's what the benefit, I guess, of webinars.
Okay, well, let's say, for example...
So,
yeah, you go.
One of the biggest things about webinars, which I forgot, and this is one of the things which I believe is one of the biggest contributors to their success and why they are more effective than other marketing methods, is because there is nothing else online where you can hold someone's attention for 45 minutes to 90 minutes. Like if you send someone to a sales page, it's very difficult to get them to stay around 45 minutes to an hour and a half. I can almost guarantee that like less than 10% people would actually do that if they're watching a video about marketing, about selling you on something. Whereas a webinar, people will stay on there for the entire time. They'll stay on there for 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, just because they're listening to what you have. And you can continue to do that because you can adjust your presentation to suit where they're at by asking questions. And that's one of the other benefits of webinars.
Yeah, and I've found because I've done the same thing. I've sat on webinars for 2 hours at a time because what they're teaching me something that I can I'm taking notes and I can use this, even though at the end of it I know there's going to be a big pitch and they're going to sell me something. Yeah. A lot of the time I buy it because it's like I can see already. I've written down the notes. This is going to be good. I want this, and so I say, get your credit card out, put it in, and buy the thing.
Exactly.
And so I've done that heaps of times. Yeah, no, because so it totally works because I know it works because I buy the stuff.
Yeah.
The reason I know how to do this stuff is because I bought something off some presentation.
Why aren't you getting more of my webinars, Peter?
What's that?
Why aren't you getting more of my webinars? I hear
them. You never know. It might have been. Yeah, you didn't call my name out, dude. That's why I didn't buy it for you. No. So let's say, for example, someone thinks, okay, look, I like webinars, but I'm not really a sales guy. It's kind of feels a bit freaky. Like, could a non-salesperson actually do a webinar?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the thing that if you've got some sort of phobia where you vomit every time you get on a computer and speak in front of people, there are ways to get around that because these days technology allows you to automate this whole process. So if I was to do a webinar right now, I could, Peter, let's just say that you're not on my computer and I'm speaking to my computer and it's just being itself, just a computer. And I have some slides, and for 90 minutes I just talk to my computer just saying, this is what happens, this is what's next, this is the content, purchase this. I can take that recording, I can put it live online, make it appear as if it's live, and have people register for that showing of this, like a movie theater, I guess, kind of like a movie theater, because the actors are actually live acting out. And people can go in there, plug in the information. If they like what I'm saying, they can go and purchase. And it eliminates any fear that you might have of not being able to sell. And also the thing about this is it's just about being a person. Like if you're talking completely normally, you don't have to be a skilled salesperson. You just need to follow a simple structure and show people something that they may really want. Okay, it's just like anything in sales. Like it's not about really being able to sell. Yes, it's just showing people some steps that lead them to the, I guess, epiphany that this is a product that they should purchase for those reasons. And even though you may not get the best conversions in the world, you might not be the best webinar salesman in the world, you're still going to do very well. So that's sort of my feeling on it.
Okay.
Like sales, automate it. Just create a recording and run them. Like I've got recordings running right now where I'm not there, but they're running. Okay, people are plugging into them. They know they're not live, but we do some other things to make sure that if they want to buy at that time, then they purchase. So those are available as well as an option.
So that's really cool. So like, really effectively, you could go back, and if you get something wrong, you can go back and do takes and edit it to make it present well.
Exactly. Yeah. If you did something really bad, or if you said something that wasn't right, or someone just interrupted you, then you can cut that out as well and just have it normally. While this webinar, well, this isn't a webinar, this is a interview. While this interview is going, we're actually converting a webinar right now for those purposes. We're actually going to use that for that purpose, and I have to do some editing on that once that's done converting. But yeah, so that's what we do.
Okay, and now we'll talk, and we spoke the other day as well in preparation for this.
Yeah.
And you mentioned recently you did a test to demonstrate the power webinars have with a live group.
Yeah.
Can you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. I definitely touched on that. That was the test where I was just like, I was sick. I was feeling unmotivated. I hadn't got out of bed for too long. I just come back from Australia. I was speaking at an event there, and I was demotivated. So I set myself a challenge. How much money can I make in 3 days? From standing start, nothing, just using nothing and whatever. I didn't have a product or anything like that. And then I managed to, within 3 days, generate $13,000. And that was simply as a result of, I actually recorded my progress. And you can hear that I'm not 100% the whole time, but I recorded my progress from start to finish. So you can see I'm working on my sales letter now. I'm working on my email copy. I'm working on how I'm going to get traffic. I'm working on my webinar presentation. And then I go right to the stage where I have $0 in this PayPal account. And then I go on the webinar, sell, and then suddenly there's $13,600 as a result of selling on that webinar. So that steps through the whole entire process, and that's going to be really useful for people, and that is really useful for people to be able to see that, this doesn't take long. If you can fill in all the gaps, you have everything you need to prepare this webinar. It's just a matter of following a few steps. Then you can produce webinars, and they can do really, really well for you. So webinars is a great way to get the word out about your product, and that's what that really demonstrated. And I've done this again before. I mean, there was a guy that I set up a webinar with a while back, and within a 6-week period, we did $50,000, and he had never done any webinars before. He wasn't a salesperson, and he was able to do that. He loves them now. So there's every opportunity for you to just get your ideas out there, some of these webinars, and do it within a quick period of time. It doesn't take like weeks and weeks and weeks. It's just a matter of producing something and getting it ready, and then finding how you can drive traffic to it.
Okay, and what are some of the big traffic things that you're doing to, say, drive people to that webinar?
Yeah, sure. Well, our main method right now is joint ventures. We do a lot of joint ventures. I have my own subscriber list as well, which I'll send to webinars of mine with new products. And we're in the stage, that's great. Like JV traffic is great, joint venture traffic, it's fantastic. It's not a long-term business, though. So for us, our main focus right now for our online business is how do we drive traffic from Facebook ads, how do we drive traffic from other places, paid networks, social media, that actually get people in. So we're doing a lot more of that. So our main source, if you can imagine this, our main source for running a webinar is that we go out and we promote via our email list. But like today, we were doing a lot of promotion over Facebook on fan pages we had. We were also doing a lot of promotion via PPC advertising, and we're doing a lot more of that with our clients as well, because for some businesses, there aren't partners out there. There aren't JVs out there. If you're running the jacket business, I don't think there's people that build lists up. There is actually, but let's just say that you lived in some place where they had never heard of jackets, and you were the only jacket company there, and they were like closed off internet. So you'd find obviously places where people hang out that were interested in jackets. So you might go to some websites, you might see, hey, is there an opportunity to get traffic here? Can I advertise here? And then you might get in touch with them, say, how much does it cost to advertise here? And then as a result of that, you're driving traffic from that website into your webinar. You're selling, making sure you're making more money than you're paying for that traffic. And then that's a business model. That's one that you can continue doing. And then you look for the next traffic source. Where else can I get traffic? Social media. I can set up a Facebook page and have my friends share it and me share it. And then suddenly we're getting more people to it. We're running a contest on our Facebook page for free jackets, and people just need to register for this webinar, and we're going to announce the winner on the webinar. Anything like that will work really well. And I've heard of many people, and even a recent client of mine did a webinar from just Facebook traffic, just free traffic, and generated over $22,000 doing that. So again, there's so much opportunity to drive traffic. It's just a lot of people, the problem they have, and this is what I'm mainly seeing, it kind of frustrates me at times, but that people never get it to the stage where they give themselves a chance. If you have everything you need, you know all the steps to create a product, and you know what you want to create, you know what you want to get out there for it, you've got you can prepare a presentation. I'm sure anyone can prepare a presentation. You can speak in front of people. Then it's just a matter of getting traffic. So get all that set up, then worry about the traffic. Don't stress out about it and not do all of this because you're worried about, is this actually going to work? Do it because other people are doing it and they're making money off it, and then find the traffic after that. Because that's exactly how I did it. I created a product, and then webinars just popped up as a method of doing it. JVs just popped up as a method of selling my product, distributing it, and then from there it was a process. It wasn't like I just suddenly found a traffic source and I knew I was going to make money. I didn't know if I'd make money. I created a product and gave myself that opportunity to. And so many people don't give themselves that first opportunity to make money. And anyone who's listening to this, if you've got a product, or if you even have a product, you have everything right now you need to go out and make money. Just produce a product. Produce a webinar presentation, set up a landing page with GoToWebinar, and then go out and find a way to get traffic, okay, whether it's on Facebook, just run a test. There's so many opportunities out there. Traffic is the least of most people's worries.
And it seems to be the first thing they think of.
Yeah, and it freaks them out and gets them in this frozen mode of like, I can't do this because I don't know how to drive traffic. And the fact is, if you just produce the product, you got yourself at the stage where it was time to just focus on driving traffic, you'll be able to fully focus on driving traffic opposed from worrying about all the other stuff that's going on. So yeah, that's... Yeah,
because I come from a background of, offline business, traditional sort of a business, like I used to be a photocopier technician. My first business is... People call me up, I go and fix their machine. Done. That's the whole deal, right? So, and then for me, it was my friends who sold machines would say, "Hey, Pete, just sold another machine. Call this customer, whatever." And then, or we'd put a sticker on the machine, and they just call me up when it broke down. So that sounds like, with the traditional business model, it's like you talk to some of these guys and you go, "Look, I can teach you how to get 50 million leads," and they're like, "Man, if I have those leads, I can't do anything with them."
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the problem of getting too much traffic and nothing on the back end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like what you're saying is like, set the system up in the first place so that when you do drive traffic, the thing just functions. It works.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. It's a common problem. Yeah. It's like, what is that saying? A cart before the horse, something like that.
I think it's the you prepare the horse before the cart.
Yeah. No? Yeah, you put the cart before the horse. It's like the horse is trying to push the cart.
Oh yeah.
So, man, just tell us a little bit of your background before webinars. Like, because you're a young fella, man. Like, you're so young to be getting this thing just so off the ground and skyrocketed your career so early. Like, when I was like 24, man, I just had some inkling of something like this. Like, that's pre-internet days. But man, how did you become so switched on? What was it you were saying, like a few years before? You were 16 or something?
Yeah. I've always been entrepreneurial and always looking to make money. I'll get into that. In school, it's more like I didn't want to do any work. Just would prefer to be able to produce my own income without having to rely on getting a degree and going through that whole process. But for me, it was really, how would I describe it? The way I started my online business was I was successful with my offline marketing business, but I didn't want to just rely solely on the sole income. And at the time, I was going through a bit of a hard time there. So what I decided to do is I decided to lock myself in my room for 4 weeks and gave myself 4 weeks to make money. And I guess the drive came from feeling like I actually had to do that. I actually had to do something. I was not happy with my current situation. I wanted to stop doing that. So I made the decision that whatever it took, I was going to succeed, and I would pull 18-hour days until it happened. I wouldn't see my friends for weeks until it happened. And I was driven because I really felt like if I did the work now, I can benefit later, and that's what's happened. So I think For anyone out there, one of the main things that people never get and never understand, and I was talking about this today on the webinar, webinar that I did today, just before the interview, is that I guess it comes down to a lot of people don't even give themselves the chance. They have a 9-to-5 job, they have a family, and that takes up 60 hours of their week. Then they have all this opportunity and stuff, and they get in this mode of, I have to learn everything. And the fact is they're setting themselves up for failure because it never ends. The learning never ends. Me, if you ask me about like SEO, I have no idea what's happening right now. 2 years ago, I was up with it. Now I have no idea. If you ask me about certain things, I have no clue. But I found the thing that works for me, and I just got really, really good at that. And I remember when I stepped back into those 4 weeks that I was actually doing the stuff. Even years before that, about a couple of years, I just mucked around, and I had other stuff. I had a 9-to-5 job. I was a bouncer as well at the time, and I would give myself like about 6 hours a week of just finding training. And all I would do in those 6 hours was I would watch video after video after video, jump on webinar after webinar after webinar, and listen to how much money other people were making. And think, oh, that's fantastic, dude. Like, give me some of that. And I'd just get excited, and then I'd go to bed, and then I'd wake up, and they do the same thing every day. And I think that a lot of people don't give themselves a chance because they don't even take action. They hear a strategy, and they think, wow, that's a great strategy. I learned something. I feel really good about that. Yes, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And then I look, there's an email in my inbox. And they go to the next email, and then they learn another strategy, purchase another product. And one of the things that I did is I said to myself, I would only purchase 3 products a month. 3 products a month. That was it. If I did more than that, then I would be in trouble. So I stopped purchasing product after product after product. And I know that that's being someone who sells products on webinars, that's the wrong thing to say, but that's what it is. Because you need to find one thing that works for you and then go for that thing. So webinars, that's a strategy for making money. Going out to local businesses with social media, that's a strategy for making money. Ranking a website in Google, that's a strategy for making money. But you shouldn't be doing all 3 of these things at the same time. But so many people try and do all 3 of these things at the same time, and they jump from this one, it's not working. From this one, I've done 2 weeks, it's not working. There's this one, I haven't even created a product yet, it's not working. So what I really encourage people to do is write a list. Write a list of the stuff that you're doing right now. Where is your time taken up? How much time are you dedicating to your family? How much time are you dedicating to your work? How much time are you dedicating to each one of these strategies? And how many opportunities are you chasing right now? And eliminate as much as you can. Write 3 slots on the page and just say, I will spend time with my family for this amount of time. I will spend time in my job for this amount of time. And all of my other time is going to be dedicated into this because I'm going to put 3 months into working this strategy as hard as I can until I'm making money with it. Because if you work as hard, the fact is there's people out there that are a lot more smart than me. There's people out there that are a lot more, that put a lot more effort into learning stuff than me. But they're still failing online because they just haven't got that one concept of being able to focus on one thing and just do it really well. So if you're on this and webinars is for you, great. If it's not for you, do something else. Do the thing that's important to you and you think is the best opportunity and the biggest opportunity for you. If you like what I said in this interview and you're interested in webinars, cut out everything else. Unsubscribe from all the email databases that you're on that teach you anything else other than making money with webinars, and just focus on that one thing. And if you do that, you'll find a way of making it successful. If you focus and you put in the time, you put in the effort, you get committed for actually doing this, and you say, well, I'm not going to give up no matter what happens, and you actually take action, don't learn, just do stuff, then you'll be cool. I think one of the main things also is that I got in this training mode that I just constantly watch videos after video after video, and as soon as I switched that off, I knew and I identified this is unproductive, this is productive, and I did more of this than that. That really helped as well, and I was actually producing websites, and I learned the skills I needed to that it allowed me to make money. I plugged into the right information. I applied all the information that I was learning because I knew it was relevant to the strategy I was applying, and then I started to see progress happening. And as soon as I made that first sale, the first $4.95 that dropped into my bank account from selling a digital product, I was thrilled, and that was it. The next week, I made a couple of hundred, and then it went on for a couple of weeks. I didn't make anything, and then suddenly I broke through $600 in a day, and then after that, that was it. Yeah,
and that whole lot, and just I just want people to kind of recap that. If you're watching this now, maybe even go back and listen to that whole last section again, because that right there is gold. Right, you just explained my last 3 years. and come up to the point where I've found that one thing, which is interviews. This is the thing I love to do. This is how I want to make the money. This is what I want to do and help other businesses make money too. And it's like, man, that is just perfect, guys. That is gold. Get back, write down what he's just said and follow that advice. That's awesome. So, man, listen, what results have your clients had and your customers had from following your teachings? Because I know what you've just said then is gold.
Yeah, sure. Well, I teach a lot of stuff. I also, obviously I run my own webinars online, and it's only been recently that I actually started releasing this stuff. So I've been selling with my own business for now in about 2 to 2.5 years. And we've done over $1 million in sales via webinars. We've had great success on social media products, all sorts. But also, just starting out, just as soon as we started doing this, and this is what really led me to the conclusion or the decision that I wanted to also teach about webinars, is I sat down with a guy named Ken, and we were doing a webinar for him. He was in a desperate situation. He needed to make money fast. And what I did is I sat down with this guy. I helped him script what he had. He had already produced his product. He had all that. He just needed to know how do I get traffic. He needed a few things lined up. And I helped script his webinar, and then suddenly, within 6 weeks, he made $50,000 from that webinar, just simply by following those same principles. And I thought, wow, okay, well, I do this in my webinars. I can probably pass it on to a few others. And since then, I've been able to teach a lot of other people how to apply these strategies. Another guy is David Sprague. He's a guy who has a really successful webinar in our industry right now, which is doing really, really well. I was able to sit down with him, go through some things with him, and then suddenly he was like, wow, that's pretty good stuff. So for me, this is one of the first times actually teaching a lot of this stuff. So I'm still building up a lot of clientele. And one of the things that I'm most excited about is we're doing this webinar for staff.com. And this is a webinar that they're a client that is basically going out and emailing this webinar out to about 500,000 people. So we're going to find out very quickly how their results are. But they came to me with a webinar that was under par. It wouldn't have done all that well. They wanted advice on it, and I've helped them then script that, and we'll see how that goes as well. So in terms of prospects, it's still a progress thing for me. Like, I've done very well myself. I've helped a few people do it, but for me, I want to make this a bigger thing. So that's one of the reasons, obviously, that we're doing this interview to help more people find success. And this is a whole new project for me, so I'm excited about it.
Man, that's unreal. So, like, you've got an event coming up that's going to basically get people into your program and learn how to do these webinars, man. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I've got what's it called? It's called the Super Conference, I think it is, with who do we have? Peter McCarthy and Brad Tonellini. And then also got another event with Internet rock stars coming up as well. So the thing that I'm most excited about is being able to speak about this stuff and actually be able to teach some of the principles. And I haven't been able to show you any visual stuff today, but I actually want to go through in this particular event and show people this is the conversion stuff that we do. Okay, this is our script, and I want to show the system visually. This is all you need. You need an opt-in page. You need a webinar. You need a sales page, and these are really good, really simple. I also want to show a software that automates the whole process. You can run auto webinars. You can set up your landing pages. You can set up your sales pages. All of that done. And that's what I'm looking forward to sharing, because I think that if people really plug into this stuff, no matter what business you're in, and actually apply this to your business, you're going to see far better results with your customers. You're going to connect a lot better with them, and you're going to have a lot more success in your business and a lot more fun doing it in setting up this system and doing it right. So that's the thing that I'm most looking forward to, being able to finally share all this stuff that I've been sort of doing myself for the last few years, and finally I get to pass it on and see how others run with it. So that's what's coming up for me, a number of events over in Australia, and it looks like we'll have another one in the UK very soon. But for me, it's a lot of fun being able to teach this stuff, because I don't know, I really enjoy the whole process, the whole selling process, and the whole thing about webinars, about getting online and being able to talk to a lot of people. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, do you have a link that you could send us to for that?
Yeah, sure. Probably the best place to go is actually sambakker.com.
Yep.
And the course itself, it's only sold through events. I don't actually sell it outside of that. Mm-hmm. But if you want to go to another website that I do sell via webinars, socialbusinessaccelerator.com. You can watch my webinar there, find out if it's something for you. But what I recommend is, if you're looking to do these yourself, listen to the webinar from the perspective of how could I reproduce this myself for my own business? What is he doing here that's selling, that's working? And then reproducing it for your own business. But sambacker.com is a good place, and also socialbusinessaccelerator.com as well.
Cool, guys. Like, I'm going to be putting links down under in the show notes, guys. So just under this video, if you're watching this on my site right now, if you're over on YouTube or wherever else, click over to the site. And what's that?
Better not be on YouTube. We're watching this video. This video is hosted on YouTube. It is. Okay, yeah. You can be on YouTube. That's cool.
Yeah. So the guys' link's going to be there. Click on the links. Go over there. Subscribe to Sam. Anyway, just get on his list and check out the whole webinar thing. And also, you mentioned Internet Rock Stars. Is that Jeff and Kane?
Yeah, that'll be fun. I spoke at their event last time. And also, if you want to connect with me, sam@sambacker.com or facebook.com/sambacker.
Yeah.
Those are probably the best places to actually connect with me. Facebook. Spend way too much time on that. But I'm Jeff and Kane. Yeah, a couple of guys which I have a ton of respect for. They're guys that have really helped me, and they've helped with my webinar presentations as well, being able to pick up a few things from them and being able to they've actually watched my presentations and said, well, have you considered doing this? Have you considered doing this? And so, I'm really looking forward to that event as well.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, click through, get in touch with Sam, find out all about webinars. Man, you've been a great guest, man. You've just delivered a ton of value, which is awesome for my audience. So, man, I really appreciate you coming on and doing all that for us.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on, Peter, and I love what you're doing. And I've watched your interviews myself, and I'd have to say that I really like the site, how it's coming along, and I think it'll be a good thing. I think it's helping a lot of people. So
excellent, man, excellent. All right, are you making a great day, Sam? I'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good.
See you, man.